A decade. That's how long the Toyota Tacoma has been sold in its current form, going mostly untouched. By today's fast-moving auto market standards, that is practically ancient. And while the Tacoma is still the best-selling midsize pickup truck, the competition's new, modern offerings are narrowing that gap. To stay relevant in this segment, Toyota is finally bringing the Tacoma into this decade with new technology both under the hood and in the cabin. But the real question is, can this new truck protect that top sales status that its predecessors fought to build? This is the Tacoma's new engine, and yes, I have to repeat that this is a new motor and it's about damn time. Now this is a 3.5 liter Atkinson cycle V6 and it puts out 278 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. Your first question probably is, what the hell is Atkinson cycle?
The technical answer is, it delays the closing of the intake valve during the compression stroke.
So why should you care about this? Because this old technology should help the new Tacoma be quite a bit more efficient.
Back here on the business end of the pickup, the Tacoma has actually borrowed a lot from the Tundra. First of all, you have this 3-piece bumper, you have those trailer light hookups which are above the bumper, there's a standard backup camera, and you have these lights right here which will help you hook up a trailer at night. Also, this Tacoma has a new damp tailgate, which makes sure it doesn't come crashing down. And finally, one of my favorite features is that 400-watt outlet right in the bed. So if you're camping or tailgating, you can power all your stuff.
Updates to this interior are massive. You get a whole new center stack. It comes with this new body color plastic surround, which just gives the truck some more style, some more flair, which the old Tacoma definitely did not have. So finally, sitting in here feels like you're in a modern car. There is also a new screen in the info cluster, which, it has some nice details, some nice colors on it. It looks good, and it also gives you all the information you want and is easily accessible from steering wheel mounted controls. Unfortunately, Toyota paid a lot of attention to what's going on up here and not much to the back seat. There is still just not enough legroom and not enough headroom for a full-size adult to fit back there comfortably, unlike the Colorado and Canyon, which I can sit in the back seat completely comfortably, even over long drives. So here we are finally driving the 2016 Tacoma, and just like its competitors, the biggest difference here compared to the old Tacoma is definitely refinement. This truck just rides smoother, it's quieter on the inside, it's just more pleasurable to drive than the last Tacoma, which was a little rougher on the edges. Finally, the Tacoma just feels like it belongs in 2016. The steering feel in this new truck is really nice. It has some good meat to it, it gives you good feedback, and compared to some of its competitors, it's definitely a little bit more connected, a little bit more direct to the wheels, and it gives the driver a great sense of what's going on. But let's talk about what you really want to hear about, and that's this new 3.5 liter V6 and this all new 6-speed automatic transmission. Now this truck is actually down 1 pound-foot of torque compared to that old 4-liter, but there is actually more torque getting to the rear wheels thanks to a beefed up rear end axle ratio. And when you put your foot into it, it actually feels pretty damn good. Now, of course, that has a lot to do with the engine, but this new 6-speed is not only smooth shifting, it reacts fast and it loves to downshift. In what seems to be typical Toyota truck fashion, this transmission isn't really concerned about fuel economy. It's here for one thing, and that is to make sure that you get maximum power out of this engine. But the engine is concerned about fuel economy, and it makes sure you get the best MPG by switching between the Atkinson and Auto cycles. I can tell you that the switch is completely seamless. You'd never know what was happening. So when you put your foot into it, it goes to auto, it gives you that power, but then once you hit the highway and you're cruising, you don't need the torque, it switches back to Atkinson and saves you money at the fuel pump. When we compared the last gen Tacoma to the Chevy Colorado, we definitely found some problems with the Tacoma and we gave the Colorado the win. But now with this new 2016 truck, it really has caught up. I won't say that it's leapfrogged the Colorado, but it's easily on par with that truck in terms of refinement. And even though the numbers don't tell this story, power-wise, this truck is easily just as good as the Colorado. And I would give this transmission the win because it just gives you more power. It loves to downshift. It loves to give you that torque. I do have a bit of a major issue though, and it has to do with the driving position in this truck. There's no driver's side footwell, so my right leg kind of sits at a funny angle and I feel like it would get tired after a long drive. Beyond that, the headroom just really isn't there. I stand at 6'1" and I'm rubbing up on the roof. Anyone taller than me is gonna have a little bit of a problem sitting in this truck and getting comfortable. For all you enthusiasts out there, you should be thanking Toyota because they designed a new 6-speed manual for this truck. But unfortunately, they don't have any here for me today to test. As soon as I can get my hands on one though, I'll let you know how it is. So is there really a big fuel economy difference here? Well, this truck with 4-wheel drive is rated at 18 miles per gallon in the city and 23 miles per gallon on the highway. Over about a 50-mile run, combining city and highway, we've been averaging about 16 miles per gallon, so we haven't quite hit those EPA ratings. But while on the highway, setting the cruise at 70 miles an hour, it's not that hard to hit 25, 26 miles per gallon. So I think over time, you'd probably average out closer to 18, maybe 19, which puts this truck right in line with its competition. Everybody knows that the Tacoma is famous for being an off-road vehicle, and Toyota says that about 40% of Tacomas that leave the factory are TRD models. Now on this 2016, there are two different TRD models, the TRD Sport and the TRD Off-Road, and then we had a chance to sample them both today on some pretty gnarly obstacles, and I can tell you that these are some capable trucks. Now I know you might be thinking that front plastic air dam really takes away from this truck's performance, but even with it, you have a 29-degree approach angle, which is still much better than the competition. Now in this TRD off-road model, they strip away the air dam, so you have over 30 degrees of approach angle. That, combined with over 9 inches of ground clearance, make this truck pretty capable by themselves, but Toyota has installed 2 new systems in here, which is going to make this truck even better when you hit the trails. The first one is the Multi-Terrain Select, which allows you to choose different modes like rocks, mud, or sand. Now, it will change the truck's torque distribution to make sure that you can get out of whatever you're buried in. The other system is Crawl Control, which is actually adopted from the Toyota 4Runner and the Land Cruiser. Now with Crawl Control, you put the truck into 4 low, you set the crawl control for a certain speed, and then you completely forget about the gas and the brake. The Tacoma will modulate the throttle, it'll use the brakes, so all you have to do is focus on steering. We used it today going up a 40-degree incline, and the truck does a great job of keeping you nice, smooth, and steady, so you don't have to worry about running away, you don't have to worry about taking an obstacle way too fast. All you do is steer, the truck does the rest. And for all you off-road adventurers, there is a new standard GoPro mount in every single Tacoma, which allows you to see what's going on in front of the truck or what's happening on the inside. The redesign of this 2016 Tacoma can definitely be considered modest, but Toyota hit all the right points. This truck is now comfortable, refined, but it still delivers everything that truck buyers need. I don't think the segment king has to worry about being knocked off its throne anytime soon.